Hello, my name is Ethan, and welcome back to another episode of Path of Exile Metamorph League. In this episode, I plan to discuss how to farm currency in the game. Enjoy! So it has been brought to my attention that one method for farming money in the game, it's pretty interesting actually. So you have these maps, Maze of the Minotaur, Forge of the Phoenix, Pit of the Chimera, and when you complete them, the boss is a Shaper Guardian, and you get the Shaper Frags. And so it turns out that I was looking them up, and the price of the Shaper Frag is either just as much or more than the price of these maps. So just by playing the map, not only do you get to kill the monsters and loot the map, you also should make money just from looting the frag from the boss. Method 2, on the next step of the Shaper Frag stuff. So, it turns out that the cost of all 4 of the fragments combined is about 180C, it's about 1x, and the price of the Fragment of Shape and Fragment of Knowledge is just about 1x. And so you should be able to profit as well off of killing the Shaper Guardian for its 2 fragments to farm Uberalder. It has come to my attention that these frags do the Elder, and the Elder drops a Watcher's Eye, and these frags are actually worth something, and so you can profit off of selling these frags, or testing your own luck against the Watcher's Eye. And then it's funny that these aren't the main reason you're doing the Elder, because these are only like 30 and 40C, so you're doing this for a Watcher's Eye. I think this is like method 5. You can also farm the Uber Elder using the Fragment of Knowledge, Fragment of Shape, Fragment of Terror, and Fragment of Emptiness. And you can get your Uber Elder Watcher's Eye, which can have up to 3 mods and all that. That's how you're going to try to make your money back there. It's going to be a lot harder and a lot less clear, and you're going to have a lot bigger of a sample size. The variance is going to be massive, but the profitability is also massive. I think it's one of the best money makers in the game. Method 6, high tier mapping. So you could take any high tier map. Specifically right now I have Turn's End influenced, and I also used up the sextants. So I used my awakened sextants on these watchstones to get mods, and so then you could run like waterways, and you can run scarabs. So in my recommendation, if you have a really juicy map, you can probably run gilded scarabs and it's worth it, but in most cases just run the rusted version of the scarabs. They're super cheap, they barely cost anything, and then they add so much potential value to your map. So I think you should chisel, alch, corrupt, use awakened sextants, and use scarabs if you're going to juice your maps. Miniature version of juicing the maps, instead of scarabs you can use these sacrifice frags. They add 5% quantity per frag, and I have thousands of them, as you can see. So if I don't want to use my expensive scarabs, I can use my inexpensive sac frags. Now method 7 adds on top of this. So imagine you're mapping and you're juicing, or not, you don't have to. Let's say T14 to T16, you're playing them, you're alching, chiseling, corrupting, whatever. You sometimes use scarabs or use fragments, whatever. Now during all of this, you can be using masters. You have masters. So this is my next recommendation. I'm going to go through each step of how to make money off of each master. So to actually make money off of Alva, my recommendation is to not only farm double corruption and double gem corruption altars and the sacrifice altar. I think you should try to just upgrade as many of the good rooms as possible. So good rooms include chests full of maps, the Legion, triple Legion monoliths, the triple breach, the triple strongbox, all those rooms that give you loot, full thing of currency, all these tier 3 rooms that have insane stuff. You can even get an Uberit Ziri in your temple, and then you can also obviously farm the temple boss for those belts and hope you get the magnitude belt of move speed, and that's going to be your massive profit. You can also, as a second plan, if you can't make money off of these things in your temple because you're still very early on in the league, or early on for you, your progress, there should be usually people who are farther ahead of you, therefore they have more currency and may be willing to spend currency on a sacrifice altar, or the double corruption altar, or the double corrupt gem altar. So when you go to use them on your own thing, maybe think first, should I sell it in global chat or trade chat? Okay, so Zana's a weird master because the map tier that you run in Zana is going to decide what maps she offers you. So in the beginning of the league or the beginning of the season for you, whenever you start the season, you can use, when you get to mapping, you can use Zana to help you unlock your atlas by giving you maps that you don't already have unlocked. So instead of buying the map from trade, you can get it completed through Zana and then get it naturally dropping. The alternative is when you're in the late game and you're trying to make money off Zana, how do you actually do it? So I recommend, just off personal testing, run T16s in Zana, and she will offer you Shaper Guardian maps and Elder Guardian maps, so that you can get those fragments. So remember how I was saying that these are like 50 to 80 C? I mean 40 to 50 C. And these are 30 to 40. So you can actually get the maps from Zana to go kill the boss to get these fragments. It's pretty profitable, and then on top of that, you can have still the extra unique maps, which are these memory maps from Synthesis League that they brought out, and there's one called Cortex, and it drops, I believe, the Bottled Faith, which is super expensive, so you can make huge money off Zana. You just have to know what you're doing. So I'd recommend higher tier maps through Zana. If anyone has any other ideas, like a reason as to not, leave a comment below. I don't know fully about Zana. I'm just giving my opinion. My recommendations for how to make money through delving are as simple as this. I recommend getting your sulfite through a rotation. What I mean is, you can look in trade chat at trade 820 or global 820, and what you can do is look in there for when somebody wants to rotation sulfite, and so you bring a high quantity red map with high quantity, and you bring either a sulfite scarab, or you have your master missions, and you set up a group and you collect your sulfite together. It's the cheapest way to gain your sulfite, is to do it in a group, just like experience. And then I would recommend staying at depths 200, 600, and 1500. Those are the most profitable depths. So if you're at 200 depth, hey, you're good, you're making money. It's huge money. If you want to make more money, technically there's more money at 600, but it's way harder. And same thing with 1500. Huge game-changing money from 600 to 1500, and that will be how people print 4 mirror builds. I also think that GGG in like last season or the season before that made it so that most of the money for delving is actually behind the walls. So as you pass to an encounter, you should probably look in the darkness a little bit at those walls to break the fractured walls, and you're gonna have a lot of fossils behind there, I believe. And you're gonna be able to hit higher tier fossils that you can't normally get from a normal node. Einhorn is a funny master and a interesting one to make money off of, because you're mostly looking for the Phenomal Plagued Arachnid, and you're looking for the Krakic Chimeral. Those are the two beasts you're mostly looking for. They're worth quite a lot for imprinting magic items and splitting rare items. It's very profitable, very big items you can craft with it. Everyone wants it. So what I recommend with Einhorn is, just like the sulfite, you want to run your Einhorn as a group, because everyone collects the beast, not just you. So Einhorn's better as a group. So you should probably let people know that you have Einhorn, maybe make a friend, maybe make a few friends. Einhorn is much better to share with your friends, because everyone collects the beast, and so you get literally as many people as you have, more times the beast, and so that's obviously sick. The other thing is, I think that there is a requirement of map tiers for some of the beasts, and I think that somebody said before that it's like a minimum of tier 11 for some of the higher tier beasts. I don't remember exactly what it is, but farming tier 14 to 16 you should be good, which works with the new Awakener anyways. You have to use T14 to 16 to spawn the influence. So, and the way the maps seem to drop now anyways is that you get all let me show this. You mostly get all T14s, 15s, and 16s as map drops. You don't get T11s, 12s, and 13s anyway, so you're not even sustaining these. So if you use them, you're never going to be able to get them again. Unless you take out the Watchstone and lower the Awakening level of your Atlas, which I don't know why you would do. Okay, next money-making method, Cassia. Funny thing about Cassia, okay? I'm going to clip in this thing. Golden oil. And in in mapping, I believe that T16 Cassia, well, I guess maybe T14 plus Cassia in maps is worth it because she has like a 50% chance to drop a blighted map, which alone is a huge drop. So you can definitely do your Cassias in your maps if you've been skipping them. She got a lot better in this season, so I recommend doing Cassia in your maps for profit. There's not much technique there or tricks, it's just do your Cassias. I hope she gets a prophecy, Master Seeks Help Cassia, or she gets Master, like she becomes a Master and she's one of these. Oh my god. Or imagine, you know how we can add Legion to the map device? Imagine if we could add a Cassia encounter to our map. This one goes without saying, but I'll say it anyways. You have Tane, new Metamorph. Just in case you didn't know, when you kill Metamorphs in maps, and you have the bar on the right full, you get a body part. The body part will be the unique part you select from the boss of the map, but if you don't select the boss part, then it'll be a random piece. If you have multiple boss parts included because of a multi-boss map, then it will be random between those boss parts you chose. And so you can kind of cheat the part you get if the body part is the unique one. And then you take these 5 body parts and you go to Tane's laboratory and you can make your own metamorphs for profit, just in case you didn't know. My final tip is, I wasn't going to include this because it's a little bit, I don't like it as a tip of advice because it's super variance and it can possibly lead to loss, whereas a lot of the methods that I've gone over today don't result in loss almost no matter what. So the last thing I'll just mention as a honorable mention, this league, I will admit that a large portion of my currency made in this league was actually from my build. So while creating my build and putting my build together, I've constantly created items and then upgraded the item and put the item into my stash and sold it later. And so my point here is that it is very helpful if you ever buy or craft items to have an idea or to keep in mind what you paid for them and try to make more back from selling them later than you paid. The reason is it's called flipping. If you can flip your items for profit, then that is also another way to make money. But you can't do this until you already have money. So this is a rich get richer thing. And also, if you can have a benefit of, let's say you sniped an item for cheap or made an item for cheap getting lucky, and then later you sell it. But do you sell it for small profit or the maximum profit you can? And the reason you can sell it for the maximum profit you can is because, let's say you're not strapped for cash in the game and you can be patient and you don't need to sell the items to have money right now. And if you can sit on the item and have it at a good price, then maybe just the 3 days of farming, it's like interest on your item just because you were patient. So that's an idea just to throw out there in case people haven't thought about it. That's one of the big ways I make money. It's unintentional. It just happens, but it is a big part of it. I'm constantly changing items in my build, and then I list them for sale for more than I bought them for, and if they sell, I know I've made money. If they don't sell, well, I haven't lost anything. It just means that the item's still in my stash, and a lot of these items are ones I'm actually using anyways or wanted to use at a certain point. And so when it's your build-specific items, it doesn't feel bad to have them anyways. I just call them variations of the build, right? And that's how you can make another big money. It's pretty safe too because it's items for your build, and no matter what, like I said, the main objective was going for an upgrade in the build, and it leads to selling the old item, which profits. Weird, so weird. And I think a big part of it is because there aren't enough crafted items in some cases for some niche specific stuff, and so it's actually profitable to craft in some cases where the market isn't flooded. So in the past, an example would be unset rings with chaos res were super rare and super hard to find last season because nobody was crafting them. And so if you crafted them, almost every single result was pure profit. It was insane. And so that kind of an example of you couldn't go wrong with doing that craft. But then some other crafts, if you crafted the weapon, for example, you would lose money last season. Yeah. So yeah, thank you for watching this episode. I hope this could be motivational, inspirational, helpful. Maybe it could give a viewer an idea or tell them of some money maker that they didn't think of. Maybe it helped them come up with another way to do it. Maybe they saw something that I was doing that maybe I did something slightly better. Maybe they didn't think of selling their alvas. I don't know. Maybe they didn't think of rotaing their sulfite or rotaing the Einhorn. Either way, I think that this video could help at least one person, and that is the goal. I hope you guys have enjoyed. I hope you could learn anything at all from this video. I hope the takeaway is how to make money. You now know at least one more money-making method than you did before you clicked the video. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank my Twitch subs and my YouTube members and my Patreon who financially support the channel. So thank you to them and my Twitch subs. Thank you guys for all the support, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye!